The dumbest battle plans that somehow succeeded. When we look back at ancient wars, we often think they were all won by geniuses staring at maps and making big-brain moves. But sometimes victory is just the result of someone being so incredibly dumb that the universe breaks. Today on Unserious History, we're counting down the dumbest military plans that should have failed immediately, but somehow didn't. These are strategies so unserious they sound fake, yet changed the course of history. The Trojan Horse. Let's start with the original, "Trust me, bro," strategy. In the late Bronze Age, the Greek and the Trojans were at war. After 10 years of fighting Troy, the Greeks were tired, broke, and out of ideas. Then someone finally had a bright idea. What if we hide inside a wooden horse? Not a tank, not a secret tunnel, a horse made of wood. Somehow the best minds at the time thought that was a great idea. They built a giant wooden horse, stuffed soldiers inside it, and left it outside the city like an Amazon package. Trojans found the Greek gift, stared at it, and said, "Yes, this massive object from our enemies looks harmless. Bring it inside." There was no security check, no inspection. No one asked, "Why does this horse have ventilation holes?" That night, Greek soldiers popped out, opened the gates, and Troy was deleted from history. This plan worked because no one questioned a suspicious gift. Imagine if the Trojans were so enraged by the gift that they decided to burn it. That war would have ended differently. Operation Mincemeat, the dead guy who outsmarted Hitler. During World War II, Britain needed Germany to believe the Allies were invading the wrong place. So British intelligence said, "What if we lie to them using a corpse?" So they did just that. They dressed a dead man as an officer, gave him fake documents, personal letters, and emotional lore, then dumped him into the ocean. Germany found the body and went, "Yes, this dead man is clearly trustworthy." They moved troops based on the fake plans and got completely outplayed. This unhinged scheme worked because Germany trusted paperwork more than logic. Hannibal and the mountains nobody crosses. The Romans believed northern Italy was protected by nature itself. The Alps were impassable, no army could cross them. Hannibal Barca heard that and said, "Okay, but what if I bring elephants?" The logic doesn't add up because giant animals don't guarantee victory against rugged terrains. Regardless, Hannibal marched his army and his war elephants straight into the mountains. Unsurprisingly, the cold killed soldiers, the terrain destroyed supplies, and the elephants suffered terribly. But the survivors emerged on the other side, and when Roman scouts reported that an enemy army had appeared from the mountains with elephants, Rome panicked. Hannibal won multiple battles not because his plan was safe, but because it was unthinkable. Maybe victory belongs to the person willing to suffer more and confuse their enemy deeply. How salt made an empire look stupid. In the early 20th century, the British Empire ruled India with laws backed by military power. Among those laws was one controlling something simple: salt. Mahatma Gandhi didn't respond with violence. Instead, he planned the most unserious rebellion imaginable. He responded with a walk. He marched hundreds of kilometers to the sea, then bent down and picked up salt. That single act broke British law, but the empire didn't know how exactly to respond. Arresting peaceful protesters made Britain look cruel, but ignoring them made Britain look weak. The world watched as a global empire struggled against a man committing crimes politely. This plan worked because colonialism has terrible optics. This act was a pivotal moment in the decline of British authority in India. A global empire was challenged by a man walking quietly to steal salt from the ocean, proving that sometimes the most dangerous rebellion is one that refuses to fight the way you expect. D-Day's inflatable army. Before D-Day, World War II, the Allies needed Germany to look in the wrong direction. But instead of relying on an elaborate intelligence ruse, they decided to create an entire fake army instead. We're talking fake tanks, fake planes, and even fake radio messages. It was called Operation Fortitude, an epic-sounding name for a plan that was basically military cosplay. Germany saw it and said, "Wow, that army looks real." That was all it took to convince the Germans. They stationed troops in the wrong place while the real invasion happened elsewhere. This plan worked because inflatable tanks fooled actual Nazis. Victory sometimes hinges not on firepower, but on imagination. The Great Empty Fort Pre-Roll. During China's Three Kingdoms period, the strategist Zhuge Liang found himself in trouble. He is stuck in a town with only 100 soldiers. Suddenly, the enemy force led by Sima Yi shows up with 150,000 troops. This isn't a fight. With no army, backup, or defenses, the general had to come up with a brilliant plan. Zhuge Liang tells his 100 guys to hide. He orders the city gates to be thrown wide open. He sits on top of the city wall, lights some incense, and starts playing his lute. Just chilling. The enemy general arrived, saw the open city, and thought, "This is definitely a trap. No one is this stupid." So he did the only logical thing. He retreated. The city was saved by vibes, confidence, and the strangest form of psychological warfare. This plan worked because nobody trusts a calm man in a war zone. Sometimes if you act weird enough, people will assume you have a plan. History isn't written by geniuses alone. It's written by people who looked at a terrible idea and said, "Watch this." This has been Unserious History, where we prove that humanity survived on confidence, chaos, and vibes. Comment on the dumbest plan that would have fooled you. Hit the subscribe button for more unserious, serious historical facts. I'll see you next time.